Hi everyone, I'm Nina. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to build your own AI personal assistant that can essentially manage everything and automate anything it's set up to do. Let's go. First of all, I just want to show you how powerful and how easily used this AI personal assistant can be. In this workflow, we have our Telegram trigger. We get our messages from Telegram. This is where we instruct our AI assistant what we want it to do. This can be either a voice message, a text message, or a document with a caption, giving it instructions on what it should do next. And this automation works where our AI assistant is able to use these tools over here to then do the task and send us a response. Now let's look at our tool section. In our tool section, we have 6 tools. Our first tool is a calculator that can essentially perform mathematical operations. And then we have our email agent. We can send emails, manage our inbox. And for our Google Calendar agent, it essentially handles everything with Google Calendar. If you want to set up an event or cancel an event, that agent does that for you. For our document upload agent, here we can upload documents to Google Drive. And for our send proposal agent, here we can send custom proposals to clients whenever we want with just a message. And for the voice assistant, we use this to relay messages to maybe our team members. And with this voice assistant, you can also have scheduled calls as well. So now let me show you exactly how our agent works. The first functionality I'd like to demo here is for our proposal agent. So here we can send custom proposals to clients or whoever using just a message, a voice message. And here we're going to test it out. So I'm going to send a proposal to Faith. And how this works, if you have that contact in your Google Contacts, then the agent automatically goes there and pulls out the email to then send it to the person. So let me just send this message. I need Faith's email address to send the proposal. Please provide me with her email. So in this case, Faith is not part of our Google Contacts. So I would just provide the email. Here we have provided the email and we wait for the bot's response. Here, the bot has generated a proposal for Faith where we can then go look at the proposal, check if there's anything we want to tweak. But if we look at the proposal and the proposal is good to go, what we can just do is ask us, do you want me to proceed with sending the proposal? So you can approve or decline the sending of the proposal. So here I'm just going to approve. And there we go. The task has been completed and the proposal has been sent to Faith. And if I check here in my inbox, I can see that the proposal has been sent to me as well, which is good. We could also test it out to see how it's able to send emails to people. So I'm just going to have here, send an email to Andrew informing him that I'll be coming to his office tomorrow at 10 a.m. to finalize the signing of the documents and the start of the team training. So we're going to send that. And as well, access, I need Andrew's email address to send the email. Please provide me with his email address. So now I'm going to provide Andrew's email address. I'm just going to use the same one from here. And as you can see, it's very intuitive. It can capture right away that, oh, this email is the same email you gave for Faith. So are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to send this for this email? And here, just for the sake of the demo, I'm just going to say yes. So we can see all the outputs in the same place. And it says the email has been sent to Andrew. If we come over here, we can see that yes, the meeting has been sent to Andrew as well. So you can customize this to your own needs, make it more tailored to you, but let's keep testing out all the other functionalities that this AI assistant has. So let's test our voice agent. The good thing about this voice agent is that we can schedule calls in advance or decide for the call to go through immediately. So right now it is 1:34 and I want to schedule a call to one of my team members at 1:36. Hi, Stephanie. Please call Sarah at 1:36. A reminder that I'll be going to Home and Life Inc. tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the training and that she should remember to bring along the documents for signing to the office. Thank you. So the bot comes back to ask me if Sarah is in my Google Contacts. And yes, she is in my Google Contacts. I'm going to say yes. And now let's wait.
Hi, this is Stephanie. I'm calling to pass a message from Nina.
Hi, Stephanie. How's it going?
Hi, Sarah. This is Stephanie calling on behalf of Nina. I wanted to inform you that I'll be going to Home Life Inc. tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the training. Also, please remember to bring along the documents for signing to the office. Thank you. Do you have any questions or need further clarification about the training or the documents needed?
Would you be going to the place or would Nina be going to the place?
I apologize for any confusion. It's actually Nina who will be going to Home Life Inc. tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the training.
And
Also,
what
please remember to bring along.
and what do I have to do?
You will need to bring along the documents for signing to the office. Is there anything else I can help clarify for you or any other action you need to take regarding the training?
No, I think I'm all good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Sarah. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks for your time.
But that is it. That's how our voice agent works. And as we can see, our bot has said they have sent the call along and told her everything that we need. And with this assistant, we can also perform other tasks like scheduling an event or uploading documents into our Google Drive. Please, can you set up a coffee chat between I and Nina at 5 p.m. today? Thank you. Nina is in your Google contact, and I'm going to say yes. So now let's build this. So here I've just created a new workflow. So we tap on add first step, and what we want is a trigger. So we want our trigger to be from Telegram, and we want it whenever we get a message. So on message. And here, all we have to do is we have to connect our Telegram account. I'll be linking some videos in the description that can set you up on how to do this exactly. And then you just have to make sure the trigger on is message. We're going to tap on the plus sign and we're going to search for a switch. So what we want to do with the switch is account for the 3 different types of inputs from the Telegram that we can have. So the first one we want to do is for a document. So for that, I'm going to make sure this is an expression. And for this, we're just going to do this $, JSON dot message dot document. And we're just going to do that an object exists. For the next route, we want for the voice messages. So here we're going to do JSON dot message. Just going to copy this. JSON dot message. And here we want dot voice. Want it like this. And we're going to put that to expression as well. This is going to be similar to the other one. We want that the object exists. And for the third route, which is for our normal text messages, we just want to do the same thing. Put our curly brackets. Then we're going to change that to expression. And we want this to essentially be text. And since it's text, it's not an object, so we have to set this to string and just use the same exist. So what we want to do is just check for the kind of message object or the kind of text object that came into the workflow. And for those, we're going to handle them differently. So here we have 3 routing paths. For the one on 0, we're going to use it for our documents here. So one thing I really want to explain right now is how we're going to use this routing info. So here we have 3 paths, 0, 1, and 2. So for our documents, they have a data type of caption. So any text that comes with a document given an instruction will be used as a caption. For our text files, they will be used as text. And for our voice files, we don't really have to worry about those right now because they will be converted to text once we use a transcriber. So the end goal of everything here is we want at the end, everything to be given to our AI agent in text because that's the only way we can give commands to it. So for the ones in caption, we want to take it as a caption, turn it into text. For the ones with the voice, we want to transcribe the voice, turn it into text. And for the text, we just want to give it directly to the agent as well. Okay, so for our path 0 here, we're just going to click on the plus sign, and then we're going to go to data transformation and edit field set. For this, we want to make sure that it's manual mapping. And for the fields to set, we want to tap on add field. Want to make sure this is fixed, and we're going to put this as text. Because what we want to get that caption text that we put along with our document as a command. We're going to leave this a string, and we're just going to paste this in there. This is telegram trigger.item.json.message.caption to get the caption that comes with that message. Just going to leave this extra one, and we're going to click out. For our path 1, what we want is we want telegram, and we're going to do get a file. So basically connect to your telegram account. You want this to be file, and you want that to be get. For our file ID, we're going to just impute this, and yeah, we make sure it's an expression, and we want the download button to be toggled on. So just like this. And there we're going to click on the plus sign, and we're going to search for OpenAI. Under OpenAI, we're going to look for transcribe a recording. Gonna click that. We're gonna connect our OpenAI credentials. For our resource, we make sure it's audio, operation, transcribe, or recording. And our input data field name should be data. So just like this looks good. And for our second path, so for the path 2, what we want is we want to click on this. Just like the last time, we want to go to data transformation. We're going to go to edit field set. Make sure the mode is manual mapping, and we're going to tap on add field. For our field name, we want it to be text as well. And for our value, we want it to be from the Telegram trigger, item JSON message.text. I'm going to click out of that. Oh, it connected here by mistake. It's going to X that out. So from here, what we want to do next is we want to take all these outputs, possible outputs we can get, and merge it as one. So in the end, we just want a single text file to be sent to the AI. So I'm just going to tap here. I'm going to search for the merge node. I'm going to tap that. And the number of inputs we're going to have is going to be 3 because we have 3 different types of files or 3 different types of commands that can come from the Telegram. So we're just going to make this 3. And we're going to connect them respectfully. So what that means is for path 0, which is here, we're going to connect it to the first node here. For this, we connect here. And for this, we connect here. Looks good. Looks good. And then the next step is to add our AI personal assistant now. So we're just going to click plus. And what I want to do is search AI agent. We'll tap on that. And here we just have to configure our AI agent. So the first thing we want to do is we want to add a chat model, which is the model that essentially controls everything our AI agent is going to be doing. So we're going to click that, and then we're going to just search OpenAI chat model, connect your credentials, and the model I want to use for this is I want to use GPT-4. Awesome. For our memory, the reason it's good to have memory in this case is because let's say we want to give follow-ups on commands we've given before. We want our AI assistant to be able to remember that and be like, oh, yes, I did this. Or yes, you told me this. Oh, yes, this is the next thing I should do. So we're just going to click on memory, and we're going to choose simple memory. For this, we want it to be defined below. And for our key, we want it to be the chat ID so we can see what we've been saying previously to the AI. So I'm just going to paste that in, make sure it's expression. So we want Telegram trigger item JSON message dot chat ID. And the context window length would be 5. So it means that the AI agent here can understand and remember 5 past iterations of this, which is nice. In this section, essentially the tool section, we can add whatever tools we want to do. If you want to make a whole new complex workflow, you can use that, and you can use it during the call n8n workflow tool. In this demo, I'll be going over the ones I have done in the past, but just for right now, let's just add a calculator. But just like pretty simple calculator, doesn't need any configuration. We'll just add that. And for our response back to ourselves to tell us the AI has done this task, everything's completed, we're going to search Telegram, and we're going to add send a message. So send a text message. We connect our Telegram credentials. We want the resources message. We want the operation to send message. And here for the chat ID, we want it to be the chat ID of the Telegram chat. And for the text, we just want to output whatever the tool has given us, or some tools don't give out like text outputs. So if it doesn't give out a text output, we just want the agent to tell us, okay, the task has been completed, which is why we have this other case, the task has been completed, and the other first one, which is the JSON output. And that is it. This is a basic skeleton for creating any functionalities of your AI assistant. In the next phase, I'm going to go over one by one the tools I created myself for my use case to be able to use this on a daily basis. Coming back to our original workflow here, we can see all these tools that we have. And just like I said before, you can customize your tools to whatever you need. So here, I'm just going to go over the tools I use personally in my own development to help me. Also, if you like videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me a lot to keep bringing out this really cool builds and step-by-step guides to help you guys out. Back to the build. Going back to our tools, so basically with this plus sign here, we can add whatever tools we want. In my case, I'm doing more complex workflows, so I have individual tools that do bigger operations in their individual files, and this AI personal assistant can call those files whenever it needs to perform a task associated with them. So I'm going to go over these files one by one. Also, I have these documents that go over the step-by-step of how to create all of these tools. They will be linked in the description down below. This agent was personalized to me, so feel free to modify the blueprint however you need to make it your own. Here, to add a tool, what we want to do is we want to click on the plus sign, and then we want to search call n8n workflow tool. So if we add something like that, it looks like this. Here in our AI personal assistant, we have this prompt that essentially lists out all the tools that we need here for our workflow. But no worries, if you want this exact prompt, you have it linked in the description with the guide. So here we can see all the documents listed and explaining their functionalities and how the AI agent should call those tools. Looking here, we want the source for the prompt to be defined below, and we want the prompt to be json.text for the user message. Coming back to our send proposal agent, we want the name to be send_proposal, and then we just want to give a description of what the tool does, which in this case is for any task relating to creating a proposal to a recipient. Then here we have all this. But first of all, let's see how the workflow itself works for how we're able to send these proposals to this client. So here in automate proposal, we have this trigger that is when executed by another workflow. So the trigger starts when another workflow calls this tool. And the first thing we want to do is we want to get the when executed by workflow. And essentially, we want to set inputs for it. So here I have 5 inputs, which are the things we're going to use to configure our workflow. So here we want some specific details. We want the service we're going to offer the client. We want the client's name, we want the client's company name, we want the email, and we want the chat ID. So when we're done, we'll be able to send that document to our user. And then for the retrieve proposal template, in my case, for my proposals, since I usually send out the same format of proposals, I don't really have the need to create a whole new one. I just need to edit some stuff. So in my case, I have a proposal template. So I just essentially bring out that template and then have the AI edit stuff in the template to make it fit for my needs for that particular client. So here we want to connect our Google credentials. We want the resource to be file. We want the operation to be copy. And then we want to just choose the file. So in my case, I chose my proposal template. And then basically, I just want the name of the new file the bot is going to create to be project proposal for json.name. And I want to copy it in the same folder. The next step will be to edit this proposal to make it fit for the client. So what I want to do is connect my Google Doc accounts, and then I want the resource to be document, I want the operation to be a date, I want the doc ID or URL to be the json.id. Essentially, for my proposals, I usually have spots like name here in the curly braces that just represents like a variable. So here I have like service as well. I have name at company. So essentially for my edits, I just have to replace those particular strings because everything else essentially remains the same. So in my case, my object will be text and my action will be find and replace text because I want to replace those certain text, right? So for this one name, I want to take the name I'm going to get from the AI agent, which is one of our variables. So you just have to input that here. And then I also want to edit the service. So I do the same thing as well. And then for the company, I also want to add the company. If you wanted, you could execute the workflow. And when we come here, we can simply just drag and drop. So in this case, you have text, find and replace text, name, and you just want to drag and drop the name from here. So you drag and drop this here, you drag and drop, here's a service, you drag and drop the service here, and you drag and drop the company as well. And that's essentially how it works. For the download, create a proposal, we just want to download our new proposal. So we go there, we choose everything, and then JSON.document ID, which would essentially be the document that we created. The next thing we want is we want to send that document for validation. So if you remember earlier, we sent it and we gave approval of whether or not we should. So what we do is we send the document and then us as users can go through the document and decide if we want to send the document or not. Here in send document for validation, we want to connect our Telegram. We want the resource to be message. We want the operation to be send document. And then for our chat ID, we just want to impute the chat ID we got as an input and then make sure the binary file is turned on. And then the input binary field will be data. The next step will be retrieve user validation from the Telegram. So what we want is essentially to tell the user, do you approve this? Do you disapprove this? And if the user approves, then the automation goes on. If it doesn't, then the automation stops. So here we have the Telegram account, we have the resource, we have the operation as send and wait for a response. We're going to send and then we're going to wait for a response. For the chat ID, we want the chat ID we got the first place. And then the message we want is, do you want me to proceed with the sending of the proposal? So we have these two buttons here. So we have approve and disapprove. And then for the approve button, we just have approve, and the disapprove button, we have decline. After that, if the user does click on approve, then we go on to download the accepted proposal, which is we just have to connect our credentials like this and put the document ID. And then we send the proposal to the user. Here we have connect our credentials, and then we're going to send it to the email we got as our inputs. This is essentially just our subject, and then you can type in whatever message you want here and send it to the user. When everything is successful, we'll have this message sent back to our AI personal assistant. And if there is an error, we then tell the AI assistant that, oh, we could not perform this task and we should try again. Going back to our main workflow, here we can configure all the inputs, how we want the inputs to be imputed, but no worries, you can go through this in the documents and see exactly how these work. Now let's go to our next agent. Here we have our voice assistant. And for our voice assistant, just like before, we have when executed by another workflow. So here we have the inputs that we want. Here we want the team member's name, which is basically telling our assistant who we want to call. We want the call time, we want the topic, we want the message content, and we also want the phone number. So here we just have to schedule a call. So here we want it to be at a specific time. So we can either specify the call in the future, or we can specify the call to go right now. So for the date and time, we have json.call_time. So our personal assistant configures the time in an acceptable format to be able to go through this workflow and call the person at the stipulated time. So next thing, we want to send a request to VAPI. Here we have HTTP request because right now, n8n doesn't have a direct integration for VAPI. So essentially, we have to use this HTTP request to send requests to VAPI to get the calls done for us or just to tell it exactly what we needed to do. So the method here is post, and our URL is going to be api.vapi.ai/call. and we want the authentication to be none. For specify headers, we want send headers to be toggled on, and we want specify headers to be used in fields below. For the authorization, you just have to look for your private API key on VAPI. And before putting your private API key, you want to put the keyword bearer in front. You can find that private AI key here on VAPI by simply going to settings that you want to search API keys. And you're going to see this place that says private key and public key. So you just want this private key over here. So you just copy paste that. We want the body content type to be JSON and the specified body to be using JSON. For the JSON, we're going to be sending to VAPI. You want something that essentially looks like this. All these areas you see phone number ID, assistant ID, you just have to replace those and then use your credentials from VAPI as well. For our next module, we want to get the call from VAPI. So now instead of posting requests, we want to get back the information. So here we use a get method and we want the URL to be this. And we want the send headers to also be toggled on. Here, the authorization will be same like before, and the bearer will be bearer and your private API key. Next, we want to wait. So usually these calls take a couple seconds. So what we want to do is we want to check after every 5 seconds if the call is ended. If the call is not ended, then we want to go back and ask VAPI, hey, are you done with the call? How's everything going? The call is not ended, we go back, hey. And just to keep keeping track of that process. So once we have the status as ended here, then we want to send all the transcriptions back to the personal assistant to be able to then give a response to the user. Our next tool to talk about would be the documents upload agent. So this agent is pretty much straightforward. We have when executed by another workflow. Here, the only thing we need is a file ID as an input, and then we go to Telegram and get the file. So here in Telegram, we just have to put the file ID as JSON.fileID. The operation is get, resource is file, and we want to upload that document to Google Drives. So here we configure Google Drives, and then we just put the file name and configure everything like this. And once that's successful, we're able to send a response to our personal assistant that it has been executed successfully. Moving on, we also have our Gmail handler, which is essentially our AI assistant for our emails. We have the same thing here with the inputs, and we just have this if statement. So as I said before, if you do have this person in your Google contacts, your personal assistant will be able to just go pick it from your Google contacts. So here we can just configure it like this, connect our account. And if that is false, then we just want to instead, AI would ask the person next, oh, could I have this email address? But if it is true, then we're going to get the person from Google Contacts. And this email agent essentially is able to do all this tasks, send email, email replies, labels, etc. And here we can see the prompt for this, just giving it instructions. But no worries, you'll find all this in the documents explaining step by step how to go about everything and configure every node. And for here, we have the success. So once that is successful, we would then send a message to the user as well. For our last tool, we have this Google Calendar handler, which kind of also looks like the Gmail handler. So it does the same thing. For our inputs, we have this, and we just want to ask, oh, is this person in Google Contacts? If yes, we just use the credentials from there, the information stored there, and merge it at this point. If no, then the AI assistant will ask more information to be able to handle this task appropriately. For the calendar agent, we have things like update event, delete event, get events, create events, and create an event with an attendee. And of course, if it's successful, we have success. And if not, we have to try again. And that is it, our fully functional AI personal assistant that can perform any task at any given point in time. Just a reminder, this was personalized to my needs, so feel free to tweak the blueprints a bit and make it your own. Thank you so much for watching. Also, if you'd like to keep seeing more builds and guides like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.